Hello, everyone. Well, most of us are perpetually trying to count our calories in or calories out for extra 5 pounds of weight loss. Well, at least I have done that. Well, this is the topic of our discussion with Jacquie Walburn. Jacquie has been dubbed as a health transformation engineer or a nutritionist. She has successfully reversed her own 15 different medical conditions successfully using dietary protocols, nutrition, and botanicals. I am Amita from Nourish Talk, a global platform for natural and holistic therapies. I'd like to introduce all of you to Jacquie Walburn, who's joining us live. Welcome, Jacquie.
Woohoo! Thank you. Honor to be here again. Loving it.
Great, great. So let's get started about, you're talking about this myth. So what is that myth? So let's just get going.
Okay, well, first myth that we're going to be busting today is the calories in, calorie out model, which in fact, your body isn't a bank account. It is a biochemistry lab where the body doesn't see all calories the same. Myth number two, eat less and exercise more. Pretty much the same thing that they've been telling us over and over again. And fact is, constantly restricting your calories or calorie deficits leads to body, actually thinking you're in famine and slows your metabolism down, making you gain weight on less food. So don't want to do that. And then the next myth we're going to be looking at here for weight loss is grazing. Um, Eating 6 small meals a day. No. That all of this has been research debunked. It's all old news and it doesn't work anymore. The idea with grazing is that your blood sugar never drops. So therefore, you're looking at your body never going into rest and restoration and repair and healing and fat burning because you're giving it a constant amount of sugar input coming in all the time, leaving your blood sugar stably high, which of course gives you insulin, which is the fat storage homework. So you're not going anywhere doing that.
Well, most of us actually treat our bodies like a bank, calories in, calories out. I
I'm
mean, that's
starting.
how we're programmed.
Ah, I can tell you for myself that I lost 90 pounds eating the
Oh my
same
God.
number of calories and changing the food.
Wow.
That was how it went for me. 90 pounds took me about a year to reverse all of my conditions, including obesity, diabetes, a whole slew of stuff. But yeah, I was eating this, I was tracking it. I was eating the same number of calories, even more calories sometimes than I had been for years. And the weight just fell off me. So we'll look at some of the real causes, root causes of what actually is keeping you from losing weight or even causing you to gain weight. So number one, we're going to look at nutritional deficiencies. Now, the example I have here, if I gave you a cup of flour and said, make me some bread, you'd go, I can't because I have to have more ingredients. And my response would be exactly. So when we're talking about nutritional deficiencies, we're talking about the essential nutrients your body needs to be able to function properly. We're talking about your essential amino acids from proteins, your essential fatty acids, eat fat, get thin, okay, and your essential vitamins and minerals. And I want people to notice right here that there are no essential carbs. You do not need them. They are not essential for your existence nor your health. So a properly designed diet is going to meet all of your nutritional needs, but what I found with the amount of calories that my body burns, running about 1,800 calories a day, between 1,600 and 1,800 calories, I can't meet all of my nutritional needs. And if I'm in a deficit, I'm going to need to make up those deficits by adding extra nutritionals, botanicals, and other things that are going to bring those up. Now, the most common severely depleted nutrients in our food come down to, and you probably heard some of this already from other things that are going on in the world, is we are chronically low in vitamin D. We are chronically low in zinc. We are chronically low in magnesium. These things have 400 each, functions in the body that if you are depleting them, there are 400 different things that are being compromised because you're low in these things. So other botanicals can address other issues such as your blood sugar, your cholesterol, your liver enzymes, all to speed up the process of healing in the body. Okay, next.
Yeah, sure. We have
There
the
we
next
are.
slide. Yeah, we have the next slide, Jackie.
Okay, it's a little slow on my end. That's okay, cool. All right, so I wanted to give an example that everyone could possibly follow along with, and I'm not going to go through and read the whole thing. They can again come back to the replay and take screenshots or pause it, write stuff down, etc. But I want people to recognize, for example, when we talk about your thyroid, which controls the rate of your metabolic systems, and I wanted them to see that all the different places where all of these different nutrients fit in. So you're looking at requiring B12, magnesium, you're requiring iodine and tyrosine, vitamin C, B2, selenium, iron, vitamin D, vitamin A, omega 3s. These are all responsible for kicking through your entire metabolic process for your thyroid, starting all the way from your pituitary, all the way down to your cells that are going to be stimulated in their processing of your metabolism, which is the rate at which you burn your sugar, basically, and burn your body's metabolic rates. So these are all the things. If you're deficient in any of these things, it's going to slow the system down. It's going to dysfunction. It's going to cause problems. And then your body can't process. So what does it do? It turns around and throws stuff into fat storage, waiting for you to have the right things coming in to make it work. So if there's anything missing along the way, the function drops, your metabolism drops, your speed of reaction drops, your food burning drops, your energy drops. All these things drop if you don't have every single thing in there necessary for this system to run. And every other system in your body is the same way. This is why they call them essential nutrition, essential nutrients.
Okay. So let's continue with the root causes. That's the next slide.
Okay, so now okay, you're breaking up a little bit on me here. But anyway, let's go on to the next slide here, which is number 2, cause. Oh, that's supposed to say low-grade infections. I missed that. Ooh, and gut dysbiosis.
Oh,
now,
yes.
the first question here is going to be, if you are craving sugar and craving carbs, it's not you that is actually craving them, okay? You have good and bad microbes in your gut, in your microbiome that feed on the foods that you eat. And when the bad guys don't get enough of what they want, they send a signal to your brain, making you crave what they want, whether that's sugar, whether that's processed foods, whether that's junk, whether that's artificial sweeteners. It doesn't matter, because it's the bad guys are the ones sending you those cravings. If you don't have a lot of bad guys, you're not going to have those cravings. So you can actually shift that and make things better for yourself and set your body up so that it can actually perform optimally. So the biggest culprit here for low-grade infections is actually candida. Now, most people think of female yeast infections, but actually candida is a normal resident of your microbiome that processes food, that ferments stuff, and it's kept in check by your immune system and the rest of your microbiome. But when your microbiome is weak, candida can overgrow and start taking over your body. It can actually cause leaky gut. It can actually systemically spread throughout your entire body, getting into your bloodstream. And again, it is a sugar lover. So it sends huge amounts of cravings to your brain, and it also releases what they call mycotoxins, which can actually affect other systems in your body. that can actually give you more problems. So it shows up with other things. It can be linked to even arthritis or other, and weight loss and weight gain, not being able to lose. So you look at the diagram that has here, and it talks about all the different digestive issues. It can disrupt your hormones. It can cause you to gain weight for no reason when your diet hasn't changed. So it's something to definitely look at as one of the big culprits that could be causing your issue with your weight. Okay, next we have the biggest category, which is going to be toxins. My screen isn't shifting yet.
Well, the screen says low grade
All right,
infection.
so, oh, I got more here in low grade infection. My bad. Yes, okay, this one has it right, huh? All right, so now the idea here is that if you change your diet and you move away from all the empty carbs and the empty calories, and you don't feed the bad bugs, that your microbiome will start to shift to the good ones that actually make vitamins, make essential fatty acids, the feel-good neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. All of your energy production stuff goes on. It turns off the bad genes causing you any kind of your health issues and turns on the good ones that optimize your health. So, and this also comes into your genetic expression here, because when we talk about your microbiome actually turning on good and turning off bad genes, this is where your genetics can come in. As far as you say, oh, I have a fat gene. Well, I can tell you right now for myself, analyzing my own DNA, I have 10 different genes that are specific for diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and obesity. And I was on that path and I was going and didn't know what to do. And then I changed my life. I turned those genes off when I lost all the weight and I shifted my microbiome and I changed my diet and used food as medicine. So you don't have, you're not a victim. Your genes are not your destiny. You can actually turn them off and turn them on from your environment of what you feed yourself and what you drink, you eat, you think. Not going to get too much into toxic thoughts in this one, but anyway, these are all things that can actually influence your outcome. All right, so I think this next slide is going to be number 3, all the different kinds of stressors. You have physical structures, you have chemical, you have environmental. These are all different types of toxins. So we're talking about heavy metals, pesticides, talking about like glyphosate being sprayed on your food, mostly your grains, which is one of the reasons why I recommend for my clients that they don't eat any grains, because they are highly sprayed. And it actually is, glyphosate is a catalyst to amplify other issues. Medications can all lead, and also all these can lead to leaky gut, leaky brain, poor cellular health, poor energy. These toxins interfere with every cell and every body process by mimicking the right nutrients, blocking the right nutrients, replacing the right nutrients, damaging the pathways for processing, and from enzymes all the way to your hormones can all be affected by these toxins. So it's important that you're going to have to check, you're going to have to process, take out all the processed food. You're going to have to go organic to get rid of all of this stuff. You may have to do some detoxing, some liver cleanses, some gut intestinal cleanses to get all this stuff out of your body, so that you can actually get it out, because it's going to push your liver, if it can't handle everything, it pushes it into your fat storage. And then when you start to lose weight, it starts dumping it back in your system, and your liver goes, oh no, too much, more fat, more fat, more fat. And this is why you yo-yo diet when you don't do it correctly. So again, nice diagram here of what I call the bucket theory. So anyway, all right, so moving on. Oh, that's okay. Again, there's a nice diagram here that gives you all the different things that can actually fill and overfill your bucket, so that you actually start having toxins and things leaking out into your body faster than your liver can detox them, faster than you can eliminate them other ways. And so it ends up leaking out or dripping into your bloodstream. And then this is when you start getting symptoms. So you have to empty the bucket, and you have to stop putting stuff in the bucket so that you don't continue to fill it. So you're going to have to eliminate all the things that cause the bucket to overflow. All right, so this one's got some more examples for you. So for example, fluoride in your toothpaste and in our drinking water. Most places around the United States have fluoride in their water. Other countries have banned it because they know what it does to the body. Aluminum in your deodorants and in some pesticides. You have cadmium and arsenic in rice, conventional rice. You're going to want to go with your organic jasmine sticky rice or something, or go with wild rice, organic, to get away from those things. Glyphosate, again, sprayed on our crops, fed to our livestock, which means that if you're eating a lot of conventional meats, you're going to be getting the glyphosate that's stored in their fat tissues. So again, that's an issue. Antibiotics are going to not only kill off your good bacteria, but they open up for candida when there's nothing keeping it from growing. It's going to damage your cellular mitochondrial energy power plants, because they again are ancient bacteria. So they again are going to get damaged by antibiotics. So they are an issue. Medications, most people don't realize that medications only treat symptoms. They all deplete, they fit the definition of toxins or toxic because they deplete the body of some kind of mineral, some kind of nutrient, and they block normal pathways. So they are not a solution. They are not a cure. They treat symptoms, and they were never meant to be long-term. They were meant to be a stayover until you can get things back in order. The most common things that are depleted are all of your minerals, but also interferes with vitamin uptake. For example, like statins are known to deplete CoQ10 enzyme for your heart health, actually decreasing your heart health in the process of taking this particular drug. So most doctors are on this now. They'll tell you, you need to take this, but this is just one example of something of how it blocks a pathway and depletes the body so that it actually can cause the harm you're trying to prevent.
Okay, let's talk about solutions. What can we do?
Okay. All right. Well, again, all these things are remedial as far as there are remedies for all of these things. So it's going to take a multi-therapeutic approach. You're going to have to support every cell membrane, every mitochondrial membrane, and every single pathway in your body needs to be able to heal. You're going to have to give it everything that it needs. And this is a very nice diagram that explains yo-yo dieting and why it doesn't work. So when you cut out the calories or you exercise more, you increase the concentration of toxins in your body, and then your body says, I need to create fat to be able to store these toxins because I can't detox them right now. And so you end up gaining the weight back for your body to have some place to put all those toxins. When you clean up your diet, you empty your bucket, going the other way, then as you lose weight, you clean out the toxins that come out of your fat, and then you don't have to put it back in anywhere. Your body eliminates it, and then you can keep the weight off permanently. All right, so what does this kind of look like? So the number one diets that are being used for weight loss and diabetes reversal as well are going to be your low carb, paleo, keto type diets. They are the number one research dietary protocol for weight loss. But the thing is, you don't really want to do this on your own because there is what they call dirty keto, because they think, some people believe after looking at the research and looking at online stuff, that they think keto is, and they think paleo is a carnivore diet where all you're doing is eating a bunch of bacon and fat and butter. And that is not going to get you your nutritional deficiencies fixed, is it? So it's the worst thing you can do. So to do this right, you're going to have to do it with lots and lots of vegetables. So again, dirty keto is actually a thing, just like there's dirty vegan, there's dirty paleo. If you're not doing it clean, you're not going to get the results you want. All right, so the benefits of going keto. Nice graphic here. It gives you all the different things that you can do besides weight loss, and all the different effects that you'll have there. So you're going to be looking at, when you do keto right, or even paleo right, I call my program a clean green keto for the people that I do this for, where you're looking at getting 8 to 10 servings of low carb vegetables every day. That means you're going to need to have 2 or 3 cups with every meal, just to be able to get close to the nutritional needs for all of your essential vitamins, minerals, get your essential fiber and everything else, all your phytonutrients, so on and so forth, are all going to get there. But you're going to have to eat that much. Plus, you're probably going to have to actually supplement until you get the deficiencies back up to par. And then this diet will meet most of those things. So you're going to have to go low carb to decrease your insulin, which is your fat storing hormone. And if you get your insulin down, you get your blood sugar down, you get your carb intake down, your body will go, ooh, I need energy. Where am I going to get it? I know, I'll burn fat.
That's
The whole idea.
The way you said that was very simple and funny, but that's great.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, so other things that you can do besides just diet is there's timing. Variety is the spice of life. Our genetics are geared towards not having constant food in our face. We have spent huge amounts of our ancient past, as far as being foragers and gatherers and hunters and things like that, where there was times when you didn't have something to eat, 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day. It was feast or famine, so to speak. And so this is what your body is used to. You wake up every morning in a fasted state, and your body is burning fat at that point. And as soon as you break fast, as in breakfast, then you stop burning fat, unless if you're eating carbs. But if you don't eat carbs, or you don't eat breakfast, then you can actually extend the amount of time that you're actually burning fat and getting into ketosis. So there's some fasting things in here that I wanted to share with people that are options. You can do you want to work up to, if you're going to do fasting. So a couple days a week, skip breakfast, or wait until later in the day, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, or if you can push through to lunch, that's fine. If you want to have bulletproof coffee for breakfast or whatever, and that's it, no food, nothing that's going to break your fast, then, these are keep you in a fat burning mode longer. Limiting so that you're not eating past a certain time of night. So, and stop eating by 8 o'clock. Shorten your your feeding window so that you're only eating, to start with, like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and then shorten it to 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and then shorten it to 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and do this variety on several days during the week, so that you actually keep your body guessing, so that it doesn't think that you're in a long-term famine. You want to feed, and then you want to fast, and then you want to feed, and you want to fast. So you want to work your way through these different, so you can experiment to see what works for you. So try 1 day a week, pushing your breakfast back, and see how you feel, and go, wow, I have all this energy in the morning and I didn't eat. And when usually I have a 10 o'clock crash, and get past that if you don't need to do it. So this is where, when you start shifting your microbiome, shifting your diet, shifting your vitamins, minerals, nutrients, that your body starts tapping into your own resources and reteaching your body how to burn fat, so that you can actually burn through everything you've got. So again, these are just some different varieties of different ways to actually do it. And these are things you work up to. 6 in 1 is a good way to start, and then go to 5 and 2 and then 5 1 1. You can randomly choose and go through different things over a period of time until you want to fast 1 day a week for 24 hours to help you stay in fat burning mode. Then your body can handle that once you are fat adapted after you've worked through some of these things. So these are all different other things that you can do in strategies to help you lose weight that are actually very traditional. I mean, people have been fasting throughout the world for all sorts of reasons, religious things, etc., for hundreds and thousands of years. So it's not something our bodies are unfamiliar with. All right, so now detoxing. You have that bucket. Remember that bucket at the beginning there? Well, you're going to have to empty that bucket, or at least get it so that it's no longer overflowing. And I thought it was going to be important for you to see what foods can actually help you do that. So yes, I've heard arguments that people say your liver naturally detoxes you along with other excretory, but we live in such a toxic world that there's a genetic factor here as far as how well your liver actually detoxes. And I know for myself that my bucket is very, very little. And so for me, I mean, just a little bit of toxins pushes me over very quickly. So I have to detox with these foods like every day. And I have to do other things to support my liver, because I had non-alcoholic fatty liver disease because it was so overwhelmed with toxins that it just wasn't functioning well. So once I started emptying my bucket and doing all these detox foods, then my liver enzymes on my blood test started to come down along with the weight coming off, because my liver could now keep up better because I was giving it all this help. So it's really important that people understand that, you know, depending on your genetics, you may have a big bucket, you may have a little bucket, and you're going to be more sensitive to, and your liver is going to be, the speed and rate at which it's able to detox may need some help. So every one of my programs includes some detoxing work. All right, so again, same diagram for anybody who's still scanning through it. All right, so you have to decrease the income stuff, and then you have to clean out the stuff that's going out. You have to clean up your food, your personal care products. Did you know they actually have, there's huge amounts of chemicals that have never been tested for safety in your cosmetics? And they're talking about now that kids that are being born today, when they test their umbilical cord blood, that there have over 250 different toxic chemicals, including carcinogens, going into baby before he's born, because everything in mom transfers over. So these kids are being born fully loaded already. So whatever your mom had, you got right out the gate. And so you may have, I know that I started having issues at a really early age, about 8 years old. I started having toxic effects of all sorts of different things. My body started going haywire. I had already had a high load, already had a small bucket. I was already in trouble, and it took me 50 years to figure or 40 years to figure it out. So hopefully you won't have to either. All right, so we can do more intense detox protocols. You can do a little bit every day by simply doing these foods. There are supplements, there are foods, there are different botanicals that can help support your liver, that can help bind to the toxins. Depending on where you are and what you need, this is where you need to investigate. All right, so balancing your microbiome. Again, we're talking about your genetics here to a point. Your microbiome, these are the gut bacteria and fungus and viruses that normally live in your body, that actually talk to your genes, that actually control as an environmental factor, turning genes on and off. So you need a good microbiome that's going to turn on all the good genes and turn off all the bad genes. So again, most of us have heard of probiotics at this point, but they may not realize that they actually have done studies where they have taken an obese mouse and a skinny mouse, and they have taken fecal material out of the obese mouse, put it into the skinny mouse, and the skinny mouse got fat. That just shows you that the difference in microbiome between people determines the physical appearance and the possibilities for your body. So if you get your microbiome in order and you clean it up and get rid of the obesogenic microbiome bacteria, you'll lose weight. Simple as that. So nurturing your microbiome with fermented foods like real, raw, organic apple cider vinegar. I make my own dressings. I put it in my tea in the morning. You can make your own sauerkraut or kimchi or buy it. You can get coconut kefir. Huge ways. They fermented beets. You can make your own. I make my own coconut milk fermented yogurt. I make my own fermented kimchi. I have lots of time, obviously. But it's actually not that hard. I mean, you know, it doesn't take more than an hour to make it, and then you just put it someplace for a week and let it ferment, and then take it out and put it in the fridge and eat it. I mean, you know, something that can be there. You can take probiotics. I do recommend for my clients anyway that they actually take probiotics as well as eating the fermented foods, because you're only going to get like 15 strains of research bacteria in with like 30 billion units in a capsule. But you get hundreds of thousands of different strains in fermented foods. So some of it will survive your digestive tract and get where it needs to go. So you're actually going to give more diversity to your microbiome. And our ancestors were eating a lot of fermented foods. Something to always remember that this is what our ancestors did to be healthy. So anyway, the other thing, prebiotics, yes, in case those people who don't know, that's fiber. If you're getting the 8 to 10 servings of vegetables a day, chances are you're not going to need a fiber supplement. But if you're not eating that, then you're going to need to add some kind of fiber to your diet. I am real big on like ground flaxseed, fresh ground flaxseed. You grind it yourself in your coffee grinder. That's what I do. And chia seeds, stuff like that. Those are really high in fiber, proteins, omega-3s, stuff like that are really healthy for you. So there's a good way to get not only your fiber, but also some of your essential nutrients. So getting plenty of organic veggies in there. But if you need movement, there are other things you can do. So anyway, my husband does great on inulin. So cool.
Okay, I think that's anything else you'd like to add?
All right.
Anything else you'd like to add, Jacquie?
All right. Well, cool. I hope that went well. And so, I will add in stressors. I didn't go into all of the emotional stressors way back towards the beginning when we're talking about the 3 root causes of all chronic conditions. And not only do we have toxic thoughts that can actually cause leaky gut that can give us health conditions, but childhood traumas are actually ingrained into your brain. Oh.
I think we can't hear you, Jacquie. We cannot hear you, Jacquie. We cannot hear you.
Woohoo! Are we good?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right, great. So since we have time, I mean, we can go on to talk. We were talking about momentarily till we had a glitch there. We were talking about emotional stress and what it does to the body as far as childhood traumas that are unresolved, because people may not realize that before you reach the puberty, your brain is your id, so to speak, and it absorbs everything and determines all of your default settings. So if you had a rough childhood, as I know I did, I had to do a lot of work to try to address that. And it really did help with my health journey to be able to clear some of my things there as far as emotional trauma. So that's something else that looks at. And I can tell you for myself that I have like stickies all over my house that says I am worthy. I am worth it because I'm still trying to make sure that I am overcoming the subconscious programming in my past that was put into me as a child that still needs to be addressed. And so it's a constant reminder for me that I am happy, I am healthy, that I am worthy of being happy, healthy. I can thrive, I can be energetic, I can do whatever I want. I am in control of my future and my health. And I am taking full responsibility for everything in my life and just being everything I can be.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful, Jackie, what you said. And I think you're absolutely right. The emotional trauma that a lot of us may have gone through when we were kids carry us throughout. I mean, for many many years, actually, for that matter, until you're able to dump the toxin. You were talking about the dumping the toxins, from the body, from the food point of view. But I think uh, you're absolutely right. In addition to that, the emotional trauma that someone might have gone through, they have to dump the emotional trauma, and that's also correlated to the weight, right? The healthy, I should say, that the health of, physical health. For anyone, for that matter. So it's all correlated. The outside stress, the emotional trauma that we've been carrying all these years, and the food that we've been taking. So everything, the bucket keeps going up and up until we say, okay, we need to start emptying the bucket, you know?
Absolutely. And I don't mind sharing my own personal journey experience. I was seeing a life coach to try to figure out what was going on with me. And we got to a point where I had to discover and had to have an aha moment when I realized that when I was 12 years old and I was totally overdeveloped, fully mature at 12 years old at 5'8". And basically, my journey for my weight issue started when I was about 14. When I stopped growing, when I was 12, I started getting a lot of attention from men. And at
Yeah.
12 years old, I was not emotionally ready for that. And I had no idea what I was doing. And so my subconscious basically told me to get fat and that they would leave me alone. And then, here I find out, 40 years later or whatever, that subconscious program no longer serves me and that I need to let it go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was a huge thing for me. It actually, I gave myself permission to lose weight.
No, I think,
So,
yeah, yeah. As a 12-year-old, like you said, if you're 5 feet 8 inches, and which is the compared to the other girls, they're smaller, I should say that, and they're not fully developed. So then, you kind of think that you are different. All of us like that, for that matter. Whether we think whether it's a physical or it's the racial or it's the whatever it is, right? The color of our skin or if the physical part.
yeah.
If we feel we are different, then it's like how do you want to fit in, right? All of us want to fit in, so that then there goes your emotional side of things, that the bucket that you're talking about, the toxins.
Yeah. And I didn't want to get into the emotional stuff in this. I didn't think we would have time, but yes,
Yeah.
I'm glad we're touching on it anyway.
Yeah.
But a life coach could be tremendous help for a lot of people as well, to be able to address even
Yeah.
the emotional eating stuff, because there's I know for myself that when I gave up all grains, all gluten, all grains, and all dairy in my diet and went low carb keto to be able to take back my health, I don't have any issues now at this point looking at food and going, I don't want that. I don't want to go back to who I was and how I was. No way. I won't even touch a piece of cake. If I'm going to a party somewhere, I will bring a gluten-free, grain-free, sugar-free cake. And it
Yeah.
will be, and I'll serve it to everybody, and they'll go, "Oh my God, this is delicious." And it's like, uh-huh. I am not deprived in any way. I can have anything and everything I want and do it in a way that's healthy, that supports my journey and my health goals to keep me where I am. I have 5 years in at this point, when 5 years ago they told me, chances are you're only going to live another 5 years, 5 years ago,
Yeah.
because my body was failing so badly that they were just, okay, you're on your way down. We can try to make you comfortable, but nothing we can do about it. And it's like, are you kidding me? So I'm living proof from coming back from the brink and all the way back to, I feel better now and have more energy than I had when I was in high school. I
Wow.
mean, it is that
That's
amazing to think
incredible.
food as
Very
medicine for
exciting.
that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Jackie, for sharing your personal story, because personal stories are very personal, and some people want to share, some people don't want to share. So I never say anyone, if you want to share it, that's so generous of you to share your personal story, because I think they resonate with so many people. People can get inspired from your personal story. So thank you so much, and with all
Oh
gratitude.
yeah, absolutely. So you bet.
Well, thank you
Great.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah, thank you so much for being with us. With that, I'd like to wrap up this session. People who are, I know most of the people are probably watching elections, right? For the last so many days, all of us are doing that. But when you watch this recording, please help
Turn it
share.
off.
I know. Share the sessions and give us the feedback
Talk
and
about
let us.
stress.
Absolutely. Absolutely. With that, I'd like to end this session. Thank you so much, Jackie. We'll be in
Thank
touch.
you. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.
Enjoy.